I'm so bored. We've all heard it. And honestly, I said it to my mom too. So how do we take learning from boring to fun? I'm Amanda Hasty, mother and teacher, and today we're going to talk about 7 tips to make learning fun. And don't forget to subscribe for more great educational content and tips. Tip number 1, make learning hands-on. Do science experiments or a math lab. Grow a plant. Let your child dress up like a historical figure or form spelling words or even letters out of clay or Play-Doh. If you make learning hands-on, research shows that it's not just more fun, but people actually retain their learning better if they learned it with a hands-on approach. And just a quick plug, most of my educational videos end with things that you can do at home that are hands-on. It's really just a great way for a child to learn because they're having fun. Tip number 2, find someone to learn with. This is also research-based. Research tells us that people learn faster when they work together. In a school setting, this is pretty easy. You just pair students up or put students in groups. But in a home setting, find another family to learn with. You learn with your student, or even siblings can work together. Sometimes we get this idea that working together, kids have to be the same age. But in reality, that's not how life works. There's really not many situations outside of school where you're only with your age group. A lot of times you work with people of older or younger generations. I taught for a while at a K-8 one-room school. Yes, they do still exist. And we did a lot of projects together. You know, there's obviously things that we had to do separated out by the grades. But when it was possible to work as a group, it was amazing. Kindergarten all the way up to 8th grade. How quickly they learned and how much fun they had learning when we did it together. Tip number 3, take a brain break. Yes, it's a real thing. Sometimes boredom and frustration set in because your brain is just overtaxed. It happens to us adults. Why wouldn't it happen to children? Maybe you need to set a timer and say, this is 10 minutes and we're just going to chill. But movement really restarts the brain. So maybe take some time to stretch or play catch. If you Google brain breaks, there are so many great ideas of things you can do to cross with your body to get your brain running and moving again. It's really, really healthy for children to take brain breaks. Tip number 4, go on a field trip. Who doesn't love field trips? Okay, as a teacher, field trips are sometimes not the most fun. They can be kind of stressful. But it's a great fun learning opportunity for students. There's a lot of traditional field trips like going to the zoo or going to a museum, and those are great. But I would really look in your area for some things that are maybe not traditional. Do you have a university in the area? We called our local university once, and we found out that there was an insect museum, a bug museum in the university. They let us come over and we looked at their collection. And it was so much fun. I even held a tarantula. What about a nature center? I called my local nature center just to see if they had anything going on. And they invited us to come over and we started digging through the mud with them. And the kids got really dirty and really messy. But it was so fun to pull all these little creatures out of the mud that I had no idea existed. So I invite you to look for some fun learning opportunities on a field trip that you can do. Tip number 5, use technology. Now, technology can be kind of controversial, how much to use it or how much not to use it. But if you use it intentionally, it can increase engagement. There's a lot of educational apps or videos, like mine, available for students to learn from. But if you have an older student, they can even produce educational material, maybe creating a PowerPoint, a video of their own, or even making a website. I remember learning to make my first website. It was about bees, and I learned a lot from producing the educational content. Tip number 6, play a game. Now, there are so many games available for purchase. Believe me, I've spent my fair share of money on educational games. But there's a lot of things you can do that cost you nothing. Like when you give a quiz, for every right answer, shoot a basket. It could even just be a wadded up piece of paper and a trash can. But it makes it a game and it makes it fun. You can do hopscotch with numbers or with letters. Have you ever heard of breakout games? They are so much fun. You can buy kits to do it with, or you can just make your own with an old bike lock you have. It's kind of like an escape room, but instead of trying to get out, you're trying to get in with different clues and ideas. It takes quite a bit to set up, but every time I've done it with children, they loved it. So much fun and learned a lot. Tip number 7, learn somewhere new. Okay, sometimes you can't go on a field trip, play a game, or do some fun, exciting, crazy adventure. But maybe you could learn outside, or maybe you could set up a tent in your living room, or pull the kayak into your living room. Math is more fun when you're sitting in a kayak. There's things that you can do to just make learning in a different place exciting. I remember once my mom let us set up a fort and we were able to go inside to do our homework. And it was just more fun. So sometimes it's as simple as just changing the environment to make the learning more fun. So let's do a quick review. Tip number 1, make things hands-on. 2, find someone to learn with. 3, take a brain break. 4, go on a field trip. 5, add technology. 6, play games. 7, learn somewhere new. If you have an idea on how to make learning more fun, please share it in the comments below. Let's all help each other out. And don't forget to subscribe. It helps me a lot.